So welcome to Real Talk Conversations with Angel. Today we are going to go over some foolishness and some shenanigans in Florida. Now, in Florida, we see that they have a history curriculum that they want the students to follow. Now, this is the most foolishness that I think any educator, I'm an educator, so any educator could put up with. I mean, it is just beyond me that we could be seeing this curriculum, history curriculum on the teaching of slavery and how it gave the slaves skills, marketable skills. You know, I think Kamala Harris's response in this instance was a brave move for her to honestly say that, hey, this is foolishness, and it's foolishness at the highest level. So let's look at this report of what's going on.
Board of Education is under scrutiny for new standards for teaching African American history. Vice President Kamala Harris made a last-minute trip to Florida today where she called the new guidelines insulting. CBS's Manuel Bojorquez reports on the growing controversy.
There were some boos from the audience when Florida's Board of Education approved new guidelines this week for teaching Black history in public schools. One for middle school students says instruction includes how slaves develop skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. Vice President Kamala Harris made a last-minute trip to Jacksonville today, specifically to call out the changes.
They want to replace history with lies. They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us, and we will not have it.
But Florida's education commissioner has defended the guidelines.
What we should be striving to do is provide our students with all of this information and let them formulate their own opinions. That is what true learning is.
Now, the thing is, true learning is telling the truth. And they were not giving us skills. We came on those boats with skills. They didn't give us anything but whips, slashes, hangings, beatings, murder. So let's call it for what it is. By all means, check out MGM's Unslaved or Enslaved, because that is a documentary where you have divers going into these shipwrecks in which slavers, people stealing Africans from the continent, from Ghana, from different parts of Africa, would rather drown them than free them. So we are not talking about people that acted humane in any way, shape, or form. Slavery by any other name is called slavery. And there is no humanity in slavery. So let's continue.
Governor and GOP presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis said he'd keep pushing back against what he considers leftist ideals in education if elected.
I would eliminate the federal Department of Education if we can. I don't think that the federal government was never envisioned to have really any role in K through 12.
Critics see it as an attempt to rewrite history.
I don't think that Black parents are going to stand for their children being taught that our ancestors benefited from enslavement.
Marvin Dunn is a retired FIU professor.
Yep.
Exactly, Dr. Dunn. Parents, wake up. It's time for you to teach your children. Listen, as an educator, we can teach so much to students, but I did not rely on the school system to teach my children about slavery. Not only did I have books that I purchased, I had a library. I taught my children about how we were chattel in the Constitution. So make no mistake of it. The education system is there to put information in front of you, but all of the information, a lot of history is just really his story. So don't be bamboozled. Wake up. It's time. It's been time. It's overtime for us to take the reins and teach our children the truth.
That's nothing short of just pure evil to do that. And especially when it's been done for political purposes.
Governor DeSantis slammed the vice president's visit to the state today, saying Democrats are lying about Florida's educational standards, while Democrats who see him as a potential rival are trying to tie him to controversies like this one. Margaret?
So check this out. You know, that's one thing saying, okay, we're only going to make sure that we include stating that they receive skills. You know, you can teach a monkey a skill, but humans are not monkeys. African Americans, Africans from the continent of Africa that were brought here, stolen, sold by other Africans. Let that not be forgotten, because, you know, a lot of that rivalries and selling for coins and foolishness, Africans did that. And so I don't leave Africans off of the hook for that. Now, you'll say, well, you, Angel, are of mixed heritage. Absolutely. And I don't deny it. Okay. But please remember something. When Caucasians married, well, it was against the law to marry. So when Caucasians were with African American men, they lost their identities because the Black community is so encompassing. We take in everyone, we forgive everyone. We have humanity built in our heart. But make no mistake, mixed heritage, I have never denied that I am an African American woman. Now you say, well, do you deny that your grandmother was of German origin? Not at all. I loved my grandmother very much. And there is no one on this earth that coddled me like my grandmother. And when I sat in her lap as a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and asked her, Grandma, why you this color and I'm that color? Grandma say, we come in all different shades, baby. And that was the answer. So looking at my brothers and sisters, they were all different shades. My mother was one shade, my father was a different shade. But the crazy part is, it was his mother who was the Caucasian, and he was the same color as me. So I don't deny that, but my father brought me up as an African American girl to turn into an African American woman. And he just would tell me, you know, and he loved his mother more than anything, but he would tell me, it's hard. My mom walked a lot because of the buses, and they would tell her, you know, take your little not slaves, they were not slaves, but take your child and go to the back of the bus, or send your maid's children to the back of the bus, because they automatically just assumed that wasn't her children. So let's be clear, this is some foolishness. And DeSantis, he is the devil. I'm sure of it. He is the devil. Because here's another clip of DeSantis saying, oh, it's not me. So let's see this clip. If I can get it playing. Well, apparently we're having some difficulties there, but we are going to have this conversation because it is nothing but foolishness. And go ahead, Representative Scott. They aren't having it. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you have to say about this. Are you cool with them teaching foolishness? Asian, African is the truth, and let the truth be the truth. What happened with slavery? I love the Jewish people because, and they will take you to bat on it. Happen again. So I love how the Jewish people stick together as never again. So let's listen to this clip as soon as it starts.
Curriculum on Black history, which teaches that enslaved people in America benefited from slavery because the only Black Republican in the Senate spoke about it on the campaign trail yesterday in Iowa.
It's interesting. As a country founded upon freedom, the greatest deprivation of freedom was slavery. There's no silver lining in freedom in slavery. The truth is that anything you can learn, that any benefits that people suggest you had during slavery, you would have had as a free person. what slavery was really about separating families, mutilating humans, and raping their wives. It was just devastating. So I would hope that every person in our country, and certainly running for president, would appreciate that. And listen, people have bad days. Sometimes they regret what they say, and we should ask them again to clarify their positions.
Governor DeSantis has distanced himself from the new standards for teaching Black history, saying he, quote, didn't do it and wasn't involved in it.
Now, didn't do it and wasn't involved in it. If that isn't foolishness at the highest level,
We begin this morning with new charges against former President Trump.
you know,
that
so
he conspired
it's
to delete
foolishness.
security camera footage after receiving a subpoena for that footage in the classified documents investigation.
So
Ms. Mar-a-Lago
we
property
aren't going to
manager is
talk
also
about
now
Trump at
charged
all
for the first
here.
time. It's
You
all
know,
part of a growing
we are
obstruction
going to
case
continue
against the
talking
former
about-
president, even
we are going to continue talking about this issue. And honestly, I would hope that everyone here in this discussion would call, your congressman and make it known that you are not supporting this curriculum, that foolishness in Florida, for them to stand up against it, for them to change it. Because the fact is, they may put rules into effect that affect what information goes in our children's head, but it is up to us, we, the American people, to say enough is enough. Slavery was an atrocity. It was an atrocity that they would like to sweep under the rug, and we, you and I, will not allow that to happen. So for Conversations with Angel, I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to hear your comments. I want to hear what you have to say. So like this video, subscribe to the channel. There'll be more videos coming up. We'll be live Saturday.